Now we'll look at some design principles. We'll start with scale. Scale can be defined as the relationship of size and shape, or width and height, of one object to another. We have no idea how big this rock is because we can't put it in context until we see how it compares with a penny, whose size we know. A building's scale depends on what is nearby, and is a key factor in determining how well it blends in with its surroundings. Notice how the two-story house on top looks out of place with much smaller one-story homes, while in the second row it fits because it's in scale with its neighbors. Notice how the new building on the left dwarfs the older building on the right. Human scale can be defined as the relationship of a person to the physical environment. For example, to buildings, trees, parking lots, streets. While the house on the top half of the sketch is built to accommodate a person, the building on the bottom is built for an airplane. Do you feel like you fit in this parking lot? What about this one? How does it make you feel? Clearly it was designed for people driving, not for people walking, and there's no comforting sense of refuge for someone getting out of their car. Where would you feel comfortable and connected to your surroundings? Here? Or here? Instead of the street being designed for people walking, to human scale, it's designed for people traveling in vehicles, or auto scale. Massing describes the building's three-dimensional form and the relationship of the building's various parts to each other. Architectural elements such as windows, doors, and roofs, as well as interior floor plans, can affect buildings' mass. Massing is important because it is one of several details that determines the visual interest of a building and how it blends in with its surroundings. A building that fits will not look out of place with its neighbors. Notice how variations in the brick pattern, changes in texture, use of details, variations in the depth of building material, and placement of windows and doors help to break up the mass of the wall. In other words, this wall is something that is interesting, that we can relate to, rather than feeling overwhelmed. In contrast, the mass of this wall makes it feel forbidding, not welcoming. This is not a human scale place. The setback is the distance between the building and the curb, right-of-way, or street. The space between the sidewalk and the street is commonly referred to as a tree lawn. In residential areas, this space may have trees and grass. In more urban environments, it might be paved with trees and small landscaped islands. When several buildings are lined up in a row, they form an edge. Edges can also consist of landscaping or other features such as walls. An edge distinguishes between what's here and what's there, and helps orient us in the landscape. In this picture we have two edges. The stone wall next to the sidewalk provides an edge for the landscaping, and the wood banisters are an edge for the porch. Both edges help define the space. Rhythm in architecture refers to repetition of building design elements, such as lines, shapes, or dimensions. It could also include massing of groups of buildings. Landscaping can create rhythm. Landmarks are unique, prominent, focal, or turning points in the landscape. They can be found in nature or built by people and tend to be visible from many locations. They might be notable because they are taller or bigger than nearby features, or because they are prominent for another reason, such as a setback or their location. They help us get our bearings in the physical world, while providing a sense of history and community. The Zwannendale Museum, located in Lewis, Delaware, is a landmark in the community. In creating vibrant public spaces, author Crankshaw refers to how a landmark can exert some visual pull towards the distance. Another design element is a terminated vista, which refers to any building, object, or feature serving as the focal point and blocking the view from extending further. In the book, The Smart Growth Manual, authors Andres Duany, Jeff Speck, and Mike Linden explain street networks that include staggered intersections, deflections, and slight curves improve spatial definition and orientation by creating more memorable visual events. In a blog for Better Cities and Towns, Scott Doyen writes that terminated vistas make our communities interesting, and interesting places engage people at a more intimate, emotional level. A streetscape refers to the natural and man-made elements in or near the street's right-of-way, including the facade of buildings, building setbacks, lawns, sidewalks, street furniture, trees, signs, streetlights, and public art. A well-designed streetscape can arouse a curiosity, give us a sense of anticipation, and beckon us forward. When buildings and trees line the streets, they can give us a pleasant feeling of enclosure, like being in an outdoor room. It also increases our level of comfort because our sense of prospect and refuge enhances. The mature tree canopy in the city of Wilmington, Delaware, creates an outdoor room in their older neighborhoods.